Hello, I'm Debbie Bell-Hosking for FinextraTV at EBAday 2025 in Paris. And I'm joined by Jean-Franc Mazure of Societe Generale, and we're talking about real-time payments impact on traditional correspondent banking. So Jean-Francois, welcome to our studio. It's very busy here.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for the invite. Glad to be with you today.
It is lovely, and already we're kickstarting to lots of exciting conversations.
Let's go.
We're talking about traditional correspondent banking. How important is it to keep traditional correspondent banking alive, especially today when there's so many new emerging technologies and strategies?
Look, it's more than important. It's critical. It's systemic in the sense that it has always been, and it remains the dominant system when it comes to process high-value payments. I would add that, maybe a few figures to illustrate that. Look at the number of members around this community, doing that. 11,000 members around the SWIFT network. Look also at what it means in terms of value. Every 3 days, the equivalent of the world GDP is processed through this old-fashioned technique. So it's definitely critical. It's also a mean for defragmentation in a world that is getting tenser and tenser. Fragmentation is not a good idea. It means cost, it means complexity. So that if we want to ease and to build a frictionless world of payments, going that way is not a good idea. And maybe the last idea that I would like to share with you is that correspondent banking is, in my view, a mean for financial inclusion, and maybe more than that, a responsible financial inclusion, because natively it's based upon unitary payments, so it's easier to be checked, to be screened, especially also because all these communities now speaking the same ISO language.
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about all speaking the same language, but let's now talk about real-time payments and instant settlements. What risk are they posing to the more traditional methods of correspondent banking?
If you don't mind, I would like to pivot the question because, you have spoken about risks. I would rather speak about opportunity and challenges. There are something like 80 real-time payment schemes live in the world. So what is at stake is to interconnect them via correspondent banking. And if we succeed in doing so, at the end of the day, we would have a strongly modernized correspondent banking. So it's going to be a kind of new version of it, a kind of 2.0 version of it. So that's for the opportunity. Obviously, it's going to be a tough journey with some obstacles or challenges to be overcome. So let me name a few. Fraud prevention, fast screening, and liquidity management. Liquidity management and bank run prevention too.
And of course you mentioned fraud there in your sentence a little earlier. How would you say going forward we can ensure the safety and stability of correspondent banking, particularly when real-time payments are increasing the urgency?
If you allow me, I would like to make a first comment about real-time payments. I don't believe, so it's my belief, my personal opinion, that it is a systematic panacea. If you look at SEPA credit transfer, for instance, it totally fits its purpose for corporate payments. The speed of settlement is okay, especially because most of the time corporates are issuing scheduled payments. And look at the merits of these systems in terms, it's a net system, so with a lot of merits when it comes to pre-funding requirements, and again, fraud. So obviously the temptation to have only one system is strong because, apparently or in principle, it is less costly, but look at all the flip side that, in my view, are encouraging us to keep the two systems at the same time. So that's my first comment. To maybe better respond to your question, I would say that correspondent banking and real-time payment may be a chance for each other. Correspondent banking could feed clearing mechanisms with additional volumes, and as all these systems or scales businesses, it could be good for them. And the other way around, a real-time payment would be a way, as already said, to further enhance and modernize correspondent banking. I see two important prerequisites to achieve that: mandatory adoption by all participants surrounding any given real-time payment system, and a minimum level of reciprocity between FMIs to ensure a minimum level of fairness between jurisdictions.
There's a lot to consider here, is there not, especially going forward? Jean-Francois, thank you so much for joining us here in this very buzzy EBAday studio. Have a great event. Thank you.
Thank you.